Hello, my name is Jake Highmore, and today I'll be talking about Sjogren syndrome. So many of you ask, wow, what is Sjogren syndrome? Well, it is an autoimmune disease where your immune system attacks the glands that make tears and saliva. So, a person typically is born with this, and what happens is that you obtain dry symptoms due to uh, the tear ducts and the saliva glands themselves actually become attacked by your own body and your immune system. So, a couple different ways this can happen is that um, just in the early adulthood, um, the environmental disease or genetic disease actually gets triggered, and in some individuals it happens sooner than others, but it can occur really at any stage in your adulthood. So, the symptoms of this disease is dry eyes, dry mouth. Those are the most common symptoms. Loss of taste or pins and needles, pain in the joints due to muscle dryness, impaired voice, obviously with hoarseness and your saliva not going down your throat. You'll have a dry throat, so difficulty swallowing. Fatigue occurs and swollen lymph nodes along with vaginal dryness. So many different symptoms that happen with this disease. A treatment for Sjogren syndrome. Really, there's no way to cure this, but a couple different things that you can do. The two main drugs, pilocarpine and cevilamine, or cevilamine, are cholinergic agonists. So what they're going to actually do is go in and produce saliva tears. They work on the cholinergic receptors and actually adhere there, so that tear ducts are actually going to create tears. Also, side effects will occur from these type of drugs as well. Obviously, opposite of what the disease is. So, some over-counter medication or some artificial teardrops, and those you just apply once daily or a couple times daily as needed. Eye surgery is actually something that you can do as well to take down some of the pain and inflammation that can be caused by this. Ibuprofen and naproxen are two main drugs that are used, and also steroids and immunosuppressives. Those are really used just for the disease to slow down a little bit, and so the degradation of the glands themselves are not as much as the glands themselves don't degrade as fast. And like I said, the, the disease causes dry eyes and all those symptoms, so these are going to really be the opposite effects. So, frequent urge to urinate, since the disease causes constipation or all these drying symptoms, these are going to be just the opposite. So, diarrhea, runny nose, nausea, blurred vision. You might have developed the dry eye syndrome, so scratchiness feeling. So this is going to just be the opposite of that. So dizziness, chills, and there's quite a few different adverse effects to this treatment. So a couple statistics that I found. Start off with women are 10 times more likely to have this disease than men. They don't really know why this is the case, but they just say that oftentimes the women just have it a lot more. Also, 0.1 to 4% of the population have this disease, and they really don't know the backing of this disease too well because there's so many characteristics that and symptoms that occur. It's hard to really determine precise percentages. And here's a list of other names for this syndrome. Mainly, it's Sjogren syndrome, and that's what most people refer it to. But here's quite a few different ones. Xerostoma just means dry mouth. All these others are pretty much drying of the glands, and that sort of thing. And here's my resources. Well, thank you for tuning in today, and hopefully you learned something about Sjogren syndrome. Thank you.